When I say Simba, you will think of the main protagonist of the Lion King franchise. And you probably know that the word Simba is the Swahili translation of the word lion. So if you wanted to tell a story about lions in Africa, you would probably think of naming the main character Simba. It is kind of a very obvious and simple first choice. So with that being said, have you ever wondered if anybody else has named their character Simba other than the Lion King? You guys probably know Kimba, a franchise that for years people thought the Lion King has ripped off, but that theory is debunked. At first glimpse, yeah, Kimba, Simba, it is very suspicious, but when you know the meaning of the word Simba, then it's totally believable that this similarity is an accident. And it's actually smart that when they wanted to localize Emperor Leo, they changed one of the letters of the word Simba and named him Kimba instead. Because again, anyone could use the African version of the word lion as a name for an African lion character. Neither Kimba nor the Lion King were the first to do this, and that's the topic of this video. Today, I will talk about other media that named their main character Simba that came before Kimba and the Lion King. Simba King of Beasts, the 1928 documentary. This one is a documentary about Africa that was made in 1928. People involved lived for 4 years in Africa to make this documentary. It is not about a lion named Simba, but for lions and Africa in general. The locals use the word Simba because, as I said, Simba means lion. You will see the life of animals and the culture of human tribes of Africa in this documentary. At the end, we see a tribe that has lost a few of its farm animals because of the lions. So they started a war and killed the lions. Yes, Simba got the bad ending in this one. And that's all I can say for this documentary. The only interesting thing about it is that it took 4 years to create it, and yeah, it's fascinating to see throughout the years how easier making media has become. Like, I don't think nowadays you would need to live for 4 years in another place for just a very meh documentary. Simba King of Beasts, the 1940s comic series. In the 1940s, there was a comic book series called Jungle Comics, and as you can guess from the name, it tells stories that happen in jungles. It isn't just one story, but a collection of stories. So in each issue, instead of a 20 to 40 paged story, we have a few 5 to 10 paged stories, and each of them are separated from each other, and they just share the theme of happening in a jungle. Jungle Comics has more than 100 issues, but from my understanding only 44 of them have comic strips about today's topic, Simba. I won't talk about everything because it has more than 100 issues, and that is too much, and most of them are not related to the Lion King. So I will only talk about the Simba stories here. So here is my narration and review of Simba King of Beasts comic series. 1. The story is about an old lion named Simba, a lion that for many years have been the king of the beasts, and nobody, even the humans, don't dare to mess around with him. Only the elephants had no fear of Simba and his pride. Instead, they respected him and had a truce with him. Many times, younger lions would challenge him, and they would die as a result. One day, a young lion named Slita grew jealous of Simba because of his harem. And I think some of Simba's lionesses are younger, so they were hoping for this young handsome lion to defeat Simba to become their king. Simba accepts the challenge, but the next day before the challenge, some hunters attack Slita, but Simba saves him. And Simba even delays their fight so that Slita's wounds would heal. A few days later, Simba and Slita fight. Simba is old, but thanks to his experiences, he still manages to win. But Simba knows that his days are numbered. So this time he spares his opponent and takes a few loyal lionesses and his cubs and leaves the rest of his pride to slaughter. 2. Now Simba is retired, but his adventures are far from over. We see a father and son talking to each other. Then a buffalo attacks the boy. The father tries to shoot the buffalo, but it wasn't enough. Simba finds the boy. He is unconscious but not injured. He takes him to his pride. Then he defeats the buffalo and returns the father to his son. They thank Simba and say their goodbyes and leave. 3. Simba hears a woman scream, so he follows the sound. He sees a local has captured her. He tries to kill Simba with a bow and arrow, but that doesn't work, so he runs away. Then Simba finds the girl and licks her wounds to heal her. Then Simba rescues another captured person from a fire. Then he tries to take him to the girl, but now the girl is nowhere to be found. She is captured by another man, who is pointing a gun at her. Simba helps the man save the girl, who is his sister. 4. Simba is moving with his pack when he sees some hunters. So he warns the other lions to come up with a plan. He takes help from a bear to distract the hunters and move his pack to a better place. 5. A local wounds a mother gorilla with an arrow. So the father gorilla attacks him. Then a black panther captures the baby gorilla. Later, the father gorilla is destroying everything to find his child, killing every animal on his way. Simba tries to stop him. He succeeds and the gorilla surrenders and goes away. Then the black panther shows up and Simba attacks him for the crime of child murdering. And then the father gorilla and black panther becomes friends? What? 6. Simba follows loud voices and finds humans fighting. They die, but there are 2 surviving children and Simba takes care of them until their father shows up. 7. Simba falls into a trap. The hunters decide to sell him to a circus. Simba is trying to escape until a doctor heals his wounded arm. Simba realizes that he can't escape by brute force, so he uses his brain instead. When he escapes, he finds dead villagers. They were all victims of an illness. Then a tiger shows up, so he fights the tiger and kills him. Then he finds a dying boy. He takes him to a safer place and takes care of him for a few days. Then a buffalo tries to attack the boy, but Simba stops him. Then he realizes the water hole is poisoned and that's why people are dead. Then he takes the boy to the same doctor that healed his wounds to save the boy. 8. Simba is playing with his youngest cub. Then a killer lion attacks, but Simba chases him off. The next day, Simba's cub is playing alone. The killer lion tries to attack him, but Simba comes out of nowhere and again chases him away. He takes his cub to safety and then goes for a hunt. Then a safari shows up. A photographer and his wife wander from the safari and find Simba's cub, so they try to take pictures with him. Then an elephant attacks them. Simba comes and tries to stop him. The elephant runs away, but Simba is fatally injured as a result. The man wants to kill him to put him out of his misery, but his wife stops him. So they take him to somewhere to cure him. The wife plays with the cub while Simba is taken care of. Later, the cub runs away, so Simba breaks out of the cage to find him. Later, the killer lion attacks the photographer, but Simba comes to the rescue and kills the killer lion. Then they find Simba's cub. 9. A rhino attacks a trio of humans. Simba comes to help. Later, a girl is talking to a priest because she wants to find the temple. The priest lies and tells her that there is no temple here. At night, the priest goes to the temple and gives a lamb to a few cheetahs to feast upon. Simba follows him. The next day, the priest locks the girl up. She sees Simba is captured as well. They break out and kill the priest and the cheetahs, and the girl finds the relics she was looking for. 10. Simba helps a few humans during a dangerous adventure. 11. Simba saves a boy from captivity. 12. Simba saves a boy from a cheetah. Then he saves the animals from a fire. Then he defends himself from a tribe. 13. Another episode of Simba saving a boy from danger. 14. Simba tries to stop a tribe from civil war. 15. Simba kills a dictator monkey, so the rest of the monkeys are now free and they befriend him. 16. Simba fights some cheetahs and a hunter. 17. An elephant is destroying everything, so Simba stops him, but it will be his hardest challenge. 18. Simba escapes from captivity, then saves some humans. 19. Simba kills a gigantic ape. 20. Simba saves a boy from a crocodile, but later some baboons rob some stuff from the humans, and the humans somehow blame Simba for it. But later they realize it was all a misunderstanding. 21. A few hyenas approach Simba. He roars to scare them off, but it leads to a landslide. But he survives and strikes back at the hyenas. But he gets trapped. A few locals capture him then. But he breaks out of the cage and attacks the hyenas and kills them all. 22. A white rhino named Thunder shows up. He kills lots of animals, so Simba kills him. 23. Simba battles some crocodiles and elephants. 24. A tiger is making trouble, so Simba kills him. 25. Simba befriends a human. He takes care of him for a while. Turns out that he is a dethroned leader of a tribe, so he helps him to take back his throne. 26. Simba, with the help of elephants, scare off 2 hunters. 27. A person kills Simba's newborn cub. He also tries to kill a baby to become a king. But Simba kills him as a revenge for killing his son, and he saves another child from death. 28. Simba scares off some hunters with the help of the elephants. 29. A lion named Godor shows up and makes trouble, and Simba kills him. 30. A rogue elephant is destroying everything. Simba tries to stop it, but he gets injured. Some humans take him to safety until he is fully healed. Then they return him, and this time Simba kills the elephant. 31. It is drought season, so Simba and his pride look for a water hole. They find one that belongs to some rhinos who are not willing to share, so Simba kills their leader to get water. 32. Simba is forced to fight a human. He wins. 33. Yet another episode of Simba saving a boy from danger. 34. Simba saves a goat from an eagle. 35. Simba can't take a nap because his son and his friends are playing loud. He talks to himself about how in his days and age, they always respected the elder. But now the cubs are so disrespectful because his mate does not allow him to go hard on the cubs. He growls at the cubs, so they are quiet now, except for his own son, who approaches him and says, "You're not so tough, old-timer." Then Simba gets up and says, "Were it not for your mother, you would pay dearly for your audacity. But she has new ideas for raising cubs, and I am no longer master in my own den." Then he leaves and tells his son to not follow him, but he doesn't listen and follows him. Then the rest of this issue is just Simba's son being an ignorant brat who does whatever he wants and puts himself in danger. Then Simba saves him and complains about how time has changed, and then tells his son to not put himself in danger, and then the cycle repeats. Simba's son is one of the most annoying characters ever. But this is the only entertaining issue of this series. I don't know, it's weird that these lines come out of a lion's mouth. Imagine being the king, but in your own home being totally helpless against your wife. It's funny to me. Also, this was written in the 1940s, and even then people were complaining about how ungrateful today's children are. So I am just imagining what would the writer of this comic think if he saw how worse the situation is in the 2020s. Or maybe that's not how it was in the 1940s and the writer was actually predicting the future. 36. And yet another episode of Simba saving a boy. 37. Simba's son has grown up a little bit, but he still is ignorant. He tries to hunt a buffalo and fails, and Simba scolds him. At night, Simba Jr. sneaks out and gets captured. Simba tries to save him, but he gets captured as well. Later, they are both in a cage, but when Simba Jr. is out of the cage to be sold, he frees his father, and Simba frees the rest of the animals and they escape. 38. Someone poisons the watering hole. Simba kills the person responsible and finds a new source of water for his animals. 39. Simba helps a white elephant to be accepted by other elephants. 40. A cheetah named Loco challenges Simba. Simba wins, but later he realized Loco had to do it as a manhood test. And now that Loco has failed, he is banished. So Simba approaches Loco and Loco attacks him. This time Simba loses on purpose so that Loco will pass his test and be welcomed back to his home. 41. A tiger shows up and makes problems and Simba kills him. 42. Simba's sons get captured by hunters and Simba saves them. 43. Simba's mate gets captured, so he saves him with the help of the elephants. 44. Simba saves his cub from a gorilla. And that's it. This Simba King of Beasts comics was just a bunch of stuff that happened. I don't have anything special to say for the outro, because both of these very old properties are so boring and unimportant that I regret making this video. There is no way Simba or the Lion King are inspired by them, because they are so generic that you can't get inspired by them. As long as the stories of lions in Africa is concerned, I am sure there are lots of better documentaries and cartoons and comics that exist for it. With that being said, my next video will be about the Lion King clones. So if you are interested in them or the Lion King and Simba the White Lion content, subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss my next videos. I have been Bashir from Retro Cafe and I thank you for watching this video.